Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at Ask Adam Torres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, today I have Courtney Smith Kramer on the line, and she's a co-founder over at H2H Companies. Courtney, welcome to the show.
Hi. Thanks, Adam. Thanks for having me.
So excited to get into today's topic. So we're going to talk about what it takes to grow from a business leader to a human leader. So I'm excited to get your take on this and to go further into the topic. But before we do, let's talk a little bit more about what you're doing over at H2H Companies. Tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Great. Well, H2H stands for Human to Human Companies, and we are a coaching, workshops, consultancy that really is looking to help business leaders tap into what makes them unique as human beings to be better at their business.
And I think that's a great transition. So let's just dive into today's topic. So what it takes to grow from a business leader to a human leader. I mean, there's only so much we can do in a 10 to 15 minute podcast episode, obviously, but I do want to get your take on this. So, I mean, where do you want to start with this? This is a big topic.
Yeah, well, we focus on three tenets, simplicity, empathy, and imperfection. And it's funny because, this topic has sort of evolved over the years. It initially started because of the rise of technology. And as human beings, we see being human, what we have to offer really is our competitive advantage against technology. Well, over the years, it's evolved, and especially now that we're in these times of being sheltering in place, stuck at home behind our technology, it's sort of shifted where technology, now we have to work with it in order to connect with people virtually and maintain relationships. So the tenets still apply, but they've sort of shifted over time.
No, it makes total sense. And what do you think are some of the key things so there's some people listening right now that consider themselves business leaders, and they are business leaders in their own right, and they're thinking about, okay, what does this mean to go from being a business leader to a human leader? Could you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. So some things really create friction in business. Mm-hmm. And one of those is not understanding what you're talking about, not being clear about what you're offering, and being able to really connect. So that's the simplicity piece of it. The empathy piece of it is really coming from your heart and being able to step into your customer's shoes and understand what they're wanting, what they're needing, not just what you're selling to them. You see this a lot on LinkedIn when people try to reach out and connect to you and immediately try to sell you something, which absolutely drives me crazy. They don't know anything about me personally and don't take into consideration how their product or service could actually fit into my life so that I'm romanced into that experience. Mm-hmm. And the last piece of it is imperfection. We spend so much time as human beings trying to cover up our imperfections. And, it's really taking your imperfections and turning them into your greatest unique value. We all have quirks and we all have personality traits that, we think, we can't be ourselves. We can't show up as ourselves in any situation and try to turn off ourselves when we go to the business side and try to be someone different at home. And it's just not the case. We are individuals that need to show up as our full selves, and being able to really identify what those imperfections are and turning them into our greatest value is going to help us create deeper connections with our customers and connect with the right people who will see value in what we're offering.
So I know there's no one size fits all or any magic bullet to this, but I do know that you, with working with the type of people you have and how long you've been doing this, that certain themes tend to arise. Where do you find a lot of people go wrong on this journey? What did you find are some of those common pitfalls or themes that trip people up time after time?
Well, I think it's just those things. Either they're unclear about what they're selling and they sort of talk around it and it's super murky and they can't understand why they're not selling more or growing their business. And it's because they're overcomplicating it. So really getting simple and clear about what you're offering, your product, services, your business. I'd say not being themselves, trying to be something that they're not. This is sort of getting into the brand development side, but if you can't truly know who you are at the essence of your business, and frankly, I think in this time when businesses are at greater risk of going out because of the economic conditions, brands without a soul are not going to survive this. You have to know who you are as a business, look at your brand as a personality, and be able to really identify what those values are so that you can align those values with potential customers out there. That's totally where people go south. And also, I would say not having a sense of humor about anything, like
about life,
or about life. I mean, yeah. Things go wrong, right? All the time. We make mistakes. We're human beings. We fail all the time, and I think people are afraid to talk about failure. There's a lot of talk about like fail hard, fail fast, but like no one is out there really talking about what does it mean to fail. How are we showing up to that experience? How are we handling it? How are we learning from it? How are we laughing at it? If the outcomes of it are, catastrophic or tragic, that there's always something to be learned from it. There's a way to turn around a situation and endear customers to you by the way that you react to failure.
No, I love it. I mean, it's awesome. And when as you kind of say these things, I'm laughing because for me, you brought up a couple of things that I just love. I love the idea that you be okay with laughing. I don't know why some people are totally against this in terms of the business situation. And I'm just like, you have to, this whole failing thing and what we're going through, especially if you're an entrepreneur out there. If you're responsible for your check every week and you're out there selling a product, you got to laugh at this stuff sometimes because there's just so much coming at you. I love it. I love that you bring this up, Courtney. So final question, two-part question. So first off, if somebody's listening to this and I want to get clear, what are the right types of, so part one, what are the right types of companies and or organizations that are typically a good fit to work with H2H companies? Question number one. And number two, what's the best way for them to reach out to connect with you and your team?
Okay, thanks. So we always say that we can really help leaders, whether you're in a company of one or you're in a company of many managing people underneath you. Our goal is to make people better humans one at a time so that they can be better leaders in business. We tend to attract, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, authors, but also mid-level managers at companies that really want to be in better relationship with the people that they're managing. That's part one. And part two is you can find out more about our workshops and our call series at www.h2hgrowth.com. H, human.
Fantastic. Well, Courtney, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about all the great work that you're doing over at H2H to really help leaders transition from, that business leader mindset and also to kind of transition and to evolve into that human leader mindset. So I love it. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes store. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Business, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the video. Love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Courtney, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it.